There we go.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
I can rearrange myself so I'm.
No, you're
close
fine.
I'll figure it out. Figure it out.
All right.
All right. Here we are.
Here we are indeed.
Hopefully nobody can hear my kids yelling and carrying on way in the distance.
No, I just hear you.
Okay, good.
No, well, see, I'm not. Technically, I am HD. I'm 1280 by 720, but I'm like zoomed way in. So this portion of the frame, if you took this resolution by itself, I would not consider HD. The thing is, for some reason, when I send it over Discord, I'm not able to like send the HD capabilities of this camera for some reason. I can't figure out how. But in OBS, if I manually enter the resolution that it's capable of, then it is HD. I was hoping to use a different camera situation soon down here, but unfortunately I don't think it's going to work out. I was going to use some cameras that were compatible with our lenses, but they don't seem to send out live video over HDMI, just like use it for playback. So maybe I just need to, get like a do they make 4K webcams? I don't even know.
Probably not yet.
I have no idea. But considering how far away it is, it would need to be 4K to be much of a improvement. So,
yeah. Someone was saying that I have a glow, so I got some of these Wi-Fi colored LED bulbs, and they're pretty fun to mess with.
Yeah, you were showing me. It sounds excessive, but it also seems kind of cool.
But I mean, once they're all set up and everything, you can do some pretty neat things with them and not mess around with them, or not have to like go through too much with it. They're Philips, but they're not the what are the expensive ones? The Hue ones are they're like $50.
Wow.
Each for each bulb. So this is Philips, just like they're basically they use this thing called Wiz, W-I-Z technology. It's just like
Wiz
Wi-Fi.
technology.
You can use an app to change it, and then that. I mean, I don't know if they're like what the better, like if the hues are actually better, or if it's just like the use of the app that makes them better. I don't know. These are totally fine for me though. It's just fun, I have 3 back there. I installed an overhead right here, and I have 3 right up here, so I can change the colors in different areas in the room.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So the reason,
really quick, we just have to adjust. We did have we had a $3 donation before the stream, like before we were live, from Container 7. It didn't have any message though.
But thank you.
Thank you. And there's also a $4.99 donation from Sean Quinn saying the NT Mini Noir. How about that?
How about that?
How about it?
Am I remembering the price of the NT Mini wrong, or is it like it's more expensive than the NT Mini, right?
Oh, I don't remember.
I can't quite remember what it was, but I feel like it wasn't $4.99.
Okay, it is.
But maybe they're doing a smaller production run, so it's more expensive. I don't.
They have a specific number. Yeah, I think they're just doing as many pre-orders as they get a run for that many.
I'm surprised it's that expensive, but I don't really know what to say about it, because I feel like a lot of people are excited, but like I don't think the hardware is going to be different in any meaningful way, in the sense that like I don't think you're going to get any new features like interpolation or anything. So
we have no idea.
Yeah. So I mean considering there's like, the Analog 8 patent,
right,
or whatever that was put down. We don't know what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, the NT Mini is like a hugely useful system, and I would probably be super excited if I didn't already have one. But, you know, I don't expect something that it isn't already. I know they said there's going to be like a new menu and stuff, but like, my gut feeling is like, don't have, you know, some sort of fanciful thoughts of it having, you know, some gotta have feature that the original doesn't.
Right.
I mean, we can't even be 100% positive that it'll work with the jailbreak firmware, but I mean, I would assume there's no way it wouldn't, but I mean, you know, I mean, who even knows?
Right.
You know, so I mean, I would expect it to be exactly what the original is with a better NES cartridge slot, because they did actually specify that, which is probably the NT Mini's biggest flaw. Like, I just have a really hard time getting NES cartridges to run to read on it. Like Famicom, no problem. NES, kind of difficult.
Right.
Although
for me, the most interesting thing is the 2.4 gigahertz N30 controller.
Yeah, which
means there must be a 2.4 gigahertz NES retro receiver.
They showed pictures of the receivers.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw like the drawing of it, like the icon for it. So I mean, hopefully those will be available separately.
Oh, I think they were already available for sale on Amazon.
No, they come with a receiver that works with the NES Classic.
Oh, okay.
And, they do have 2.4 SNES controllers, but do they have?
Yeah. They showed all that stuff.
But they have the receivers that they have are for the NES Classic. They have the
apparently there's
plug-in.
Both and all pre-order. I don't know. We'll have to take a look later.
Can someone put that?
Because I mean, honestly, if the controller itself feels good, like I'm going to want so many. It's going to be kind of ridiculous, actually. But
right.
Like, I mean, if they're as good as the M30 is, then
yeah, I'm guessing that they probably. I mean, if they're going to be a new run, and I'm hopefully they're using the same PCBs as the mod kits use, which I feel are a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing really up their game with the M30, so like.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm saying that they're available for pre-order, so I'm gonna take a look.
There's $2 from Aaron Welsh saying, "Cut the foods." I don't know exactly what that's supposed to mean, but I ain't cutting out my food. I gotta eat sometime. Not tonight. I'm done eating today.
Yeah. Oh, they're not coming out until June now. Oh, that's cool. It's kind of like a smaller. It's a little bit like
yeah. Well, it's kind of like the M30 is. You know, it's a smaller thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's cool. All right.
Oh, there's $5 from Colin Barron saying, "Did Kev just ever make those cartridge adapters for the NT Mini?" I had seen him talk about it back in the day. I mean, he talked about it, you know, just as an idea, but unless I completely missed something, I don't think those things exist.
Yeah. Cut the Foods is from today's GameSack. I watched the first quarter of it today, and it's from the Cyborg 009.
Oh, okay.
Version.
So anyway, I decided to play Star Fox Assault tonight because I kind of was in the mood to play something on GameCube, because this week I did something that is going to lead to the geometry episode.
Oh, yeah.
So, Matt Lisi, from Insurrection Industries, who was in the episode 1 of Analog Frontiers with his kids, he was getting a new PVM delivered from Steve, who runs a channel called Retrode, who, you know, he does PVM restoration and all that kind of stuff. And he was delivering a new PVM and also working on one of the ones he already has. And Steve does this like really, I think he is building a resource that's going to be very important for the long term, where he is breaking down a lot of information about different CRT models on his YouTube channel and sort of having very specific information about, particular differences or things to look out for or be aware of when you're getting inside a specific CRT model. Matt told me, and Matt's like less than 2 hours from me. So, I thought this is a great opportunity to like actually get video of someone who really knows what he's doing, restoring a CRT and doing geometry corrections. And so that's pretty exciting. So I can't say for sure when that episode is going to happen, but it will. And anyway, I brought my Carby with me so that Matt could flash the newest firmware to it. And I'm actually like, there's some features in it that I didn't know about that I think the picture quality is tangibly improved, and I'm really impressed. So I wanted to stream with it tonight.
I'm kind of realizing just how like you don't do a very good job at keeping up with your firmware updates.
I mean,
this is new, but I mean, we were just talking about the OSSC today and how you were on 0.82, which is like over a year old.
Yeah, I was talking to Matt and Steve about it, when we were at Matt's house this week. I was like, Coury is really good at like, he gets something and he's like, oh, I'm going to like do this, and this with it and like try out all these things on it. And me, I get something, I'm like, okay, that seems like a big project. Like I don't got time to do that right now. Like, and then, I put stuff off and off and off and off. Yeah. I'm not super good on firmware, but this does require JTAG, but once it is 3.0, you can update it through the console using, I think like you can put like the firmware update on like a SD card reader or something.
Yeah. You're going to be able to update like for like the GC loader. You can just do it through there, and also just using a SD loader or SD card loader.
Yeah. Thing. So yeah, I'm impressed with the updates so far. So I wanted to show that. I want to go.
We had a couple of donations from Sean Quinn.
Oh,
First
okay.
one's topic of analogs. Is anyone having issues at 1080p 60? Someone on Reddit was reporting an issue with the top couple of rows of pixels.
On what?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, with the DAC, I guess.
Oh, well, I mean, on Super Nintendo, you might see some flickering at the top. I actually have not even hooked up the final version of the DAC, but that's like what they call the jitter. That the de-jitter mod on like a real Super Nintendo would fix. That's normal. You'll see that on NES as well. I actually haven't seen that personally on a real Super Nintendo, so it's kind of weird, but that is totally normal on NES.
And he's going to release an update that fixes that. So, it's a toggle.
Right. I assumed that was already in the firmware, but is it not in the firmware yet?
It's not.
But there is supposed to be a de-jitter. He said he was going to add like a de-jitter to the firmware. But that's normal. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So anyway,
the face cam is only turned off because Try is doing this right now.
Yeah, I wanted to show something here. So you'll see this option, chroma interpolation, which is new. In fact, I think all of these options are new, and some of them I'm not quite sure what they do. But chroma interpolation, you might have remembered from the sort of that GameCube updates video. Oh, there might have been a Joshua Henson made a donation. I brought it up here because it wasn't on that screen.
He says for $3. Thank you. He says just playing around with the run ahead setting on my Laka installed ARPi 4. Enjoying the stream. Well, thank you. I haven't gotten a Raspberry Pi 4 yet. I thought I heard something about the USB-C power connectors were loose on a lot of them. Like they could break really easily, but they were fixing them in future runs. Or maybe it's already. Well, thank you though.
So I wanted to show this chroma interpolation. You might remember in the that GameCube updates video that we did a little over a year ago. I showed how the component output from that version, the one that at that time, the analog version of GC Video had this chroma, it looked like it was fixing the 422 video output that the GameCube natively generates. Like the certain color resolution is just horizontally halved, and that's the way the system is. And even on the official component cables, that creates along certain color edges, especially if it's like red against blue or green, you'll sort of see some nasty edges. And this isn't really the best example here, but I was just using what I could find easily accessible within the game that I'm playing. But that function is now in the HDMI firmware. And it, in my opinion, brings like the Carby back up on par with the Carby component, which does, have those even cleaner edges, color edges, than the official component cable. And the HDMI didn't have that. And here, I'm going to zoom in here. If you look kind of as I'm going to be away from my microphone as I do this, because I have to be like right up at the Carby to change it. But if you look at the edges around that chute, you might see certain like extraneous pixels sort of go away. And it's pretty impressive. It might not look like much here, but in my opinion, it does make a big difference that brings like HDMI like back up to the level where like I would consider like capturing master footage from it rather than like Carby component through the OSSC. So I want to show you. I just think it's cool.
All right. Wait for it. Toggle it. That's just.
I don't know how well it might convey over stream or not. I mean, it's really subtle.
There's definitely no difference in it.
Really?
I couldn't see it. I'm real close.
I mean, it's. I might, I might have to just show it in a video sometime, but like the difference is there. It might, maybe the way that the stream is encoded, maybe it, compresses it too much. But I wanted to see if it was visible. Maybe I can find another example somewhere else. But it's. I think it makes a difference that like I say, like the component had this sort of feature on it before already. And like, it was kind of to the point where it's like, well, there's no reason to use the HDMI when I could just capture 2x 480p over component, and it looks even better than the official component cables. Whereas before, HDMI looked more like on par with the official component cables, except it was digital. So I do think it is cleaner. It is an improvement. So even if you can't see it. So anyway, I'm gonna get this menu off, and I guess I'll play the game.
Well, let me just see if some of the other stuff is.
Huh?
Is any of this other stuff in here new?
It is new. I don't know much about what it does. Some of it, I wonder if it might actually be for,
I mean, like
analog, like that regenerate C-Sync. That might be an analog option that just happens to be in this firmware,
Right. Well, the
device.
report 240p as 480i has got to be interesting for certain displays. We'll make.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, that would. It's probably only relevant though if you turn. If you don't have it set to line double for 240p though.
Right.
So. Anyway, let's get out of here and actually play a game.
I'm not sure. I had to double check my tweet. I was like, I didn't accidentally type Star Fox Adventures, did I? But no, I didn't. It's very easy to get mixed up, I guess.
I mean, you know, so this is a game that, you know, I remember.
You never finished it, right?
Huh?
You never finished it or
Well,
played it? Really?
no. I mean, I never owned it back in the day. Like I was going to buy it, and I just kept procrastinating buying it, and I ended up never buying it when you could still buy it new.
Yeah.
And you know, I remember it didn't, like, it got okay, but not great reviews.
Yeah.
And that probably just encouraged me to delay it. But I saw a lot of love for this game when the stream was getting started. So
Yeah.
I played like the first.
Decent. If I can be totally honest, I feel the game peaks with the first level.
I mean, the first level is actually kind of awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is one of the relatively few.
It's the high right away.
This is one of the. I mean, maybe not few, but like, you know, Star Fox is like half actual continuity continuing games and half like reboots.
Oh, you just like the entire series?
Yeah. So like this is interesting for the fact that like you actually like you're at the beginning of this, you're like chasing Andrew, who is, or Okani as they call him in this, because that's his last name, Andross's nephew. You know?
Right.
So like, who was part of Star Wolf.
Star Wolf? Yeah, it's been a long time since I played this, and the reason I ended up buying it, like, well after the fact, was because I played it on a demo kiosk at a Walmart. Like, well, like the Wii was like years into already having been released.
Oh, really?
I have no idea why there was a kiosk with this in it. I got a $2 donation from a Tenchi Ruya. Thank you. He says the first level in Assault is awesome. Yep, it's. I think it's the best part of the game.
I mean, I remember this sitting on the store shelf in Best Buy just forever.
It's just so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I don't think it did very good. I mean, you know, a lot of people complain about the on foot levels, and I think the main problem is that it just seems like there's a lot more on foot levels than ship levels.
Really?
I mean, I don't know the exact amount, but I feel like there's only 3 base levels or flying levels.
It seems like every Star Fox game, like,
Gets farther and farther away from the things that people really liked about the original.
well, yeah, I mean, it always seems like there's some like big thing that, you know, people absolutely did not want in every Star Fox game. Now, things that in general I personally have never found to be like bad, like you know, Star Fox Command. I actually really like that. That's probably my favorite Star Fox outside of the first 2. You know, the original and 64. I thought the strategy element was actually pretty fun.
And that was developed by Argonaut, wasn't it?
I think that's right. I don't know if they were still called Argonaut back then, but it was like Dylan Cuthbert, like the same like original. Like it might have been called. They might have been Q Games by that point.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But a lot of the same people that work on the original were involved. And I mean, you know, I liked Adventure at the time. I kind of cooled on after several replays, though.
Here we go.
Oh, Vanessa with a $2 donation saying Star Fox Assault has Ace Combat DNA in it.
That's true. It is Namco. I mean, the interesting thing is, there was kind of this weird time when Namco was making these Nintendo arcade games. Like they made a Mario Kart. What else? They made at least one other, I think, right? And I'm pretty sure
the arcade game. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they.
Or what was it? Actually, wasn't it like wasn't it like kind of an agreement between Sega, Namco, and Nintendo?
Yeah.
Because like wasn't F-Zero AX like out of the same?
Right. It's like the same thing, and they use the arcade like the Triforce.
Yeah. I played the Mario Kart at Galloping Ghost. I didn't particularly care for it, but
the GameWorks down the street from where I used to live had it too. But they also have an Afterburner Climax down there, which is all I ever played when I went there. I maybe played the Mario Kart a couple times. Just played Afterburner Climax over and over again. Actually, I went to Chuck E. Cheese for one of my son's friends' birthday parties, and they had no good games, but they did have an Afterburner Climax, which was the best part about the entire thing. Yeah, there's a GameWorks that was really close to where I used to live, and apparently they put some big esports lounge in there, and I've never seen it. Never went there. I mean, it's right by the movie theater. I went to. We got Retrode is in the chat.
Ah. Welcome.
I haven't watched any of that footage yet that you guys shot. I heard it was pretty fun.
Yeah, we had a great time. I mean, it definitely made me feel like way less
scared.
Yeah, like I mean, it's like you don't have to get like it doesn't have to be like that complicated what you really do to it. Really, I mean, there's certainly. I feel like you can get some of the most meaningful changes with, just kind of like the first tier of tinkering, You don't have to like necessarily get inside it, but you can. But yeah, I mean, I think it's all the information we really need to get that episode done. So it's pretty exciting.
All right, I gotta do the Ben Brody donation here.
Oh.
I don't know if I've never tried this before, so I don't know how it's gonna go. Ooh, $2, but you have to say like Homer Simpson. No.
Homer Simpson is one of those voices that's always like been like so cartoonish to me to the point of like it's hard for me to envision it coming out of like a real human's mouth. Like it always seemed to me like a very difficult voice to replicate. And like I've seen, I forget the name of the guy who plays Homer, but I've seen like video of him like actually doing the voice, and it's like super weird. Like this level is like gorgeous.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is like it feels Panzer Dragoon Orta inspired.
Yeah. I don't like how barrel roll is on. I mean, it's not a bad idea in theory for sure, but I don't like how barrel roll is like just on L and slow down is just on R. Like barrel roll, like you just barrel roll in the direction that you're tilting the stick.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay, you got to do this Ben Brody one now. I can't.
$2, but you have to say it like Slippy the Frog, and I think I just did Mickey Mouse instead. Huh.
We got a $5 donation from Kurt Mack. Thank you. He says, I'm fortunate enough to have a round one in my city. I played one of the newer Mario Kart arcade games. It was okay. Yeah, I can't tell you anything about it, unfortunately. I don't remember anything about it. Gee willikers. But F-Zero AX, we played that at Galloping Ghost. Pretty cool.
Well, I like it was the tilting cabinet.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if they're
yeah.
all tilting, but like I as cool as that was, like I could not play it very well in that environment.
Yeah, it was really close to a railing. I remember it was hard to get into it.
Yeah, I would love to play it without the tilting. Just on my GameCube, that'd be nice.
Well, I mean, that's the I think that's the coolest thing about Afterburner consoles, is it tilts and moves all over the place.
You know, I was Matt was telling me that at Portland there was a F-Zero AX arcade cabinet, and like tons of people were trying to use their GameCube memory card to get the unlocks, but it apparently no one could get it to work, and he was wondering if maybe you need a Japanese save. I don't know. But he said it just wasn't working for anyone.
Huh? That might be possible. I mean, the memory cards are region protected.
Yeah, which is actually really scary because if you try to save a Japanese game,
Yeah,
you will lose everything American on your memory card. That's horrifying.
When that happened to John,
It did happen to John.
Yeah, like he lost all these save games he's had for years. That's why I always back up. That's why I always back up things using the homebrew GC Memory Manager. We got a $5 donation from John Smoltz 29. Thank you. He says this game received bad press from the beginning due to a horrible short preview at E3 2003 that only showcased the first-person elements.
Wait, what? Which game?
This one, the one you're playing.
First-person elements, or
Well,
you mean?
I mean,
on foot?
On foot stuff, yeah.
You ignorant ape. What are you up to?
I mean, it's Star Fox coming off of Star Fox Adventures. You know, people were probably hoping for like a normal Star Fox game because there was the shooter levels like shoehorned into Star Fox Adventures. I don't remember if they were any good or not.
You don't know if what was any good?
The flying levels in Star Fox Adventures.
They're pretty tacked on. They're more of a mini game.
Right.
Like they're just there because they have to be, you know.
Mm-hmm. Shinjan PV says the US F-Zero AX worked with memory cards. I just used it to play at arcades here in Jersey when it was new and unlock some stuff. I still have my printed license for it. I'm interested what you think about the way that the story goes in this because.
Oh, do you remember? Is it odd?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have strong feelings or caring about Star Fox story.
Yeah. It is. Mellow Gaming says the story is dark, and it is. See, I think that Nintendo has not made another F-Zero game because they know that they can't make a better game than F-Zero X or F-Zero GX.
Yeah, basically.
And they could remaster it. That'd be great.
I mean, apparently Miyamoto thought that like F-Zero GX was bad because people didn't buy it.
He's just jealous. I mean, I don't think that. I think it's an amazing game.
I mean, I've had a theory that since Mario Kart, we've got Mario Kart 8 really early in this generation. I mean, even though it was a remaster, like, you know, we've already got a really good Mario Kart on the Switch. Like, I was kind of hoping that, you know, the Mario Kart team would, instead of making another Mario Kart for Switch, that they might dodging that hand requires some pretty specific timing. But anyway, I was kind of hoping that they would, you know, hey, do an F-Zero, especially since they did like that F-Zero DLC. Like, I kind of thought, oh, maybe they would, or, you know, kind of get a little practice in, right? But I saw a rumor. I have no idea, you know, what kind of validity it could have. But I saw a rumor that apparently Nintendo might announce another Mario Kart soon. But who knows?
Interesting.
I mean, I wouldn't be upset about another Mario Kart on Switch, but I would probably be more happy about an F-Zero.
Yeah. I mean, all they need to do is just remaster the GameCube one and maybe tweak it a little bit. Maybe add a new difficulty level for the story mode.
Yes, that for sure.
Just call it reasonable. Reasonable.
You know, I feel like Platinum could probably make a really good. They're probably the only company that could like follow up what Sega did. Like,
yeah, well,
to possibly be even as close to as good.
I think they wanted to with Bayonetta 2, you know, it has a Star Fox homage in it, and I would trust them with doing a full Star Fox game before
Uncle Andros.
In racing games, they just make sense, and I don't think that even Platinum could make a better game.
Such strange thought patterns.
No, it can't be. Aperoid? There's no time to hesitate. Return fire.
Oh, Cruisin' Blast. Cruisin' Blast that's the it's a new cruise.
Blast, what?
Yeah, it's a new arcade cruising game.
Really?
I'm pretty sure we talked to somebody about it.
I don't recall that coming up, to be honest.
Yeah, it's an arcade only cruising game. General Osimo says Miyamoto needs to add his gimmicks to F-Zero or else it won't be worth it to him. Well, I mean, that's kind of what happened with Star Fox Zero.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Star Fox Zero was fine.
Cool if they remastered that. Whoa. Yeah. We got a $20 donation from Cash Money.
Well, thank you. I don't know if that's cash exactly, but thank you.
Cash Money says, thanks to you guys in the Carby. Over the last week, I've been playing Advance Wars 2, alternating between on the go and 65 inches of glorious razor sharp pixels. Thank you so much and keep being awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. I've never played Advance Wars 2. That's another one that kind of goes in a dark direction.
No, that's Advance Wars Days of
like
Ruin, I
right?
think it's called.
Yeah. I think it's all gritty.
That's on DS. Yeah, but it's like a totally, like, it's not even related. Like, there's zero relation to the previous games.
And it never came out like in Japan or any.
Oh yeah, it has a different title in Europe. I forget what though.
Did I ever talk to you about what the Fast and the Furious movies are called in Japan? Did we ever talk about that?
I feel like you may have told me, and it was pretty great, right?
Yeah, they all have like amazing names.
I mean, The US tiles are pretty amazing too, really.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this like puts it to shame.
Like, what is it? I forget. You told me before, I think.
Hang on. It's called Wild Speed. Let me find it. Let's see if I can get all of things here. Yeah, I mean, I just want to find a list of all of them. Oh, geez, and one thing I missed several donations. We had a $4.99 donation from Brooks. Thanks for the late reply last week, guys. I found your archive and been enjoying the old streams. Is there a PSIO EverDrive type of thing for the PS1/PS2? Well, I mean, there's the you probably won't see it on the PS2 because you can use the memory card hack and use hard drives with it.
It'd be nice to see like maybe a more fully featured device that doesn't necessarily require the whatchamacallit, the free McBoot stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's pretty fully featured if you just use that to boot right in.
But it's just that despite what people say, the 480p forcing it's not good. Like,
well, yeah, but I mean, you don't have to do that though.
I know, but I feel like that has soured me on free McBoot. Like everyone's like, oh, I love Forza 480p. It's not good though. It's not. Like the aspect ratio is screwed up in like 98% of games that I've tested. I literally spent like 2 or 3 hours trying to find one that was not screwed up. It was Escape from Monkey Island.
Wait, what's that?
We had a $2 donation from Tenchiruya saying it came out in Japan but only in Club Nintendo. I assume about the Advance Wars.
Speaking of that previous donation, saying something about playing with the Game Boy Advance on the Kirby, that was actually what made me think, oh, I should bring my Kirby to Matt's house, because I was playing Mario, Super Mario Land on last week's Backloggery stream with it, and I could see like some purple sort of colors like around certain color edges on it, which I don't think was the chroma interpolation thing. I think that was the error that was in previous firmware about I forget what Extremes called it, but there was a chroma shift, I think he called it, where like certain colors were maybe not lined up where they should be, which is not something you could really see in 3D games, but it was noticeable in maybe really simple graphics like Game Boy. I think there was a $5 donation. I'm not sure.
There was. Yep.
Oh, was there another Brooks, or am I?
No, there wasn't.
Oh, okay.
There's a $5 donation from Justin C saying, "Great game. Who would win in a fight, RoboCop or the T800, and why?" Well, I mean, there was a Dark Horse comic of RoboCop versus Terminator.
Was there?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a fair matchup. I mean,
What?
I feel like
is it the good? Is it the good T800 or the bad one?
Well, that'd be a bad one, because RoboCop in that scenario is the good guy. I don't know. I feel like it.
The Terminator.
I mean, honestly, if the T800 just shot RoboCop in the mouth, it'd be over.
Yeah.
But if he's not shooting him in the mouth right away, I feel like RoboCop probably would win.
I don't know. I mean, Terminators always feel pretty unstoppable, even though they do end up stopping them.
Yeah.
We could understand
Yeah, this RoboCop is crazy cannon gun from the end of the first film. I like it. Cheesemeister has all the Fast and Furious Japanese names. So there's Wild Speed, Wild Speed X2, Wild Speed X3, Tokyo Drift, Wild Speed Max, Wild Speed Mega Max, Wild Speed Euro Mission, Wild Speed Sky Mission, Wild Speed Ice Break, and I guess the next one is going to be called Wild Speed Jet Break. But this is my favorite: is that the Hobbs and Shaw is called it's called Super Combo, which is definitely the best one.
I mean, I'm still a pretty big fan of the second one is called Too Fast, Too Furious, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's too quiet.
that's probably the weakest movie, but
Something's wrong here.
it's a great title.
It's a trap.
I mean, that's the reason I picked RoboCop, because I feel like he's just like bigger. It's funny. The thing that I always think about in RoboCop, I saw RoboCop in the theater with my dad. I was like way too young to be seeing RoboCop in the theater, and that's like one of the few times that I remember feeling like kind of uncomfortable, like that I was too young to be seeing this. The other time is like in Die Hard 2 when John McClane goes into the police chief at the airport's office, and he like swears so much that it was like, oh my god, he's like there's so much swearing that I was like, it made me uncomfortable at my young age.
I don't like the inverted aiming for this.
But I get used to it. I mean,
is there no option to change it?
Fix it. It's a game. Almost all GameCube games are that way too.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the worst things about this generation, is that at the time I was all into both vertical and horizontal inversion, because even horizontal, like maybe not for shooting like this, but like for just like moving the camera around your character. I can do a charge.
Head out for the target on your radar.
I mean, I used to only play like inverted also, but I think that.
But then I got used to it, and now it's just like it's so hard to go back to.
And I think it was Uncharted was the game that made me commit to non-inverted.
It kind of was for me. I mean, for me, like I played Uncharted, and I had like difficulty making the transition between like running around and moving the camera, and then aiming, and smoothly. And I liked it. It was good, but that like sort of held me back from like totally loving it. And then Infamous, you could not separate like aiming inversion with like walking around inversion. If that makes sense. Like Uncharted let you choose separately.
Oh, you're right.
But yeah. Infamous did not. And I was like, well, I'm going to prioritize comfortable aiming, which I wanted non-inverted. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of where I forced myself to get used to it. And then I replayed Uncharted, and I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing, actually.
And I'm okay with the inverted up and down if I need to, but it's like the left and right. It really kills it for me.
Well, up and down makes sense for me still in some games, or like for like flying.
Yeah, flying makes total sense. Yeah.
Show 'em what that landmaster can do.
No way! I can't shake him! Unbelievable!
Attack of the Pixels is saying that I watched RoboCop films when I was really young back in the 80s, and I remember being so hyped over the violence. My little brain exploded with the awesome music and explosions. And yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. But I think it was the thing that really stuck with me.
Sorry, but I've got to get out
It's
of
like when he shoots his hand off. I remember
The
that.
Landmaster,
It's a little bit much.
yeah, it
was-
doesn't control too great.
You can turn up inverted controls for on-foot stuff.
Oh really?
How do you go right into the?
I
menu and
I
do-
don't have options on the pause screen, so maybe I'll change. I'll see if I can back out between missions. I mean, I assume like I don't have to beat the game in one shot, like 64 or the original.
We had a $5 donation from Colin Barons who says thoughts on ukulele. I keep telling Rextro I want to play a fun arcade game, but he never gives me one.
I like ukulele. You know, I was saying not long ago that you know, I was under the impression that Hat in Time was better received than ukulele,
Smash anyone
but
and any game
like
that gets in your way.
I mean, you didn't even like.
I thought Hat in Time. I mean, I only
Did you-
played like 3
Okay.
or so hours of it, but like I thought it was actually kind of bad. Like I did not enjoy what I played of it. Whereas ukulele, like,
I heard the performance is really bad on the Switch. Also,
I mean that could possibly contribute to it. I mean it's not a pretty game on Switch for sure. Partly because it's got this like really over the top motion blur that really probably should have been deactivated for Switch. But yeah, I like ukulele. I was thinking about it the other day. Like I like ukulele more than Banjo-Kazooie. Like Banjo-Kazooie certainly has more environments, but I kind of like the level design of ukulele better, because one of the things that always kind of bored me about Banjo-Kazooie, like it was a fun game to play one time, but then it was just never very fun to revisit. And it's because like the level design is like very precise, I feel, and there are some variations to your approach, but not a lot. Whereas ukulele, like I said it in what I wrote about in the end of the year video, like it kind of lets you approach things in a way that you feel like this is totally not how I'm supposed to be doing this. But then you can do it, you know? And I love stuff like that. I love it when games aren't afraid to have, you know, controls that give you such a great degree of freedom that you can kind of invent a way to do something.
we had a $5 Canadian donation from Golden Retro Games. Thank you. It says, do either of you own arcade PCBs? I do. I have Karnov, which I tried to beat during a stream one time. I came very close, but I wasn't able to do it. I have the original Ninja Turtles arcade game. I have a game called Thunder Fox, which is a Taito game where you fight against an entire army with just a knife. Like that's one of my favorite genres. It's the one-man army with only a knife.
Yeah.
And Final Fight.
I have MVS copies of Metal Slug 1, 3, and X, if that counts. But
Yeah,
it's kind of different.
Yeah. We had a $2 donation from Potbelly Punch.
Thank you.
It says, I think Star Fox as a concept is just limited. No, I think if they just made a awesome, straightforward rail shooter, that they'd have a lot of fun with it. It doesn't even need to have the free roaming parts.
Yeah, I mean, you think of like Sin and Punishment Star Successor. I mean, that's just pure on rails goodness, you know.
And it's amazing.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it's you know, basically tied with Mario Galaxy for the best game on the Wii, and not enough people know that.
Yep. And if anybody in this chat does not have it,
It's like a what, $10 or $12 game,
yeah, it's really cheap.
and it is one of the best action games ever made. It's so good.
Yeah.
It is so good.
We got a $7.77 donation from Seven Kurgan.
Wow, thank you.
With the living up to his namesake, I guess.
He always does.
He says, "Try." I wanted to say at least in Xenosaga Episode 3 and Free McBoot, it runs decent in 480p, right? Except for that damn PS2 filter flicker.
Yeah, I think I did discover that game worked well, and I think that is also why I was looking for more games, because that's a game that looks beautiful, like at a distance, but it's not. It's a game that I always avoid. It's a game I always avoid using for comparisons, because if you zoom in and look really close, that flicker filter is not great. That's actually a game that is very commonly gets asked. It's showed pretty early in the PS2 RGB episode. That's a very common what game. Like it's a shot of Xion running on a beach. Like it's a pretty impressive shot. Like it's like, you know, it looks like the background looks really impressive, even though you like can't go to the background. It's just, you know, an image, but it's a well composed scene, I guess.
We had a $4.99 donation from Speedy, who says, "Do you think we'll get horizontal interpolation on the analog mini or analog NT Mini Noir?"
No.
I mean,
I would bet money on no.
I mean, I think if it's going to come to the other versions if it's on there, which is good. It'd be cool if it happened. I mean, I feel like it was able to happen on the ABS. I feel like it was able to add it to the ABS like years after the fact.
Yeah, but if it is, then I think it'll also work on the existing one, because I don't think they're changing the hardware in any meaningful way, other than improved NES cartridge slot.
Yeah, but
I think people are setting themselves up for disappointment. I do not think it's going to happen.
Oh yeah, $2 donation from Fried Zombie 4. It says, "How are USB load times with Free McBoot? I use ESR." I've never tried ESR. I'm not even sure what it is, to be honest. And for hard drive connections, I've just used the I used like an IDE to SATA converter. Oh, it is okay. It's a disk loader. Okay, interesting. I mean, I never tried it.
You must be able to get inside using the elevators.
Another game that
Red
works.
Wolfie is ESR is better.
Another game that works correctly with the Force 480p with Free McBoot is, well, it doesn't work correctly, but the aspect ratio is correct, is Persona 4.
You must be able to get inside using the elevators.
And
Yes, sir.
except the thing is, when it looks fine when there is enough stuff on screen to slow the system down. But if there's like, if you then go to an area where like the system has resources free, then it runs at double speed.
It's almost like using 240p on 3DO games.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting.
Blasted bugs die already. Die already does not sound like something Fox McCloud would say, I feel.
Yeah. We got a $5 donation from Fonzie Theorem. It says, guys, am I missing out on much if I just go with the ES rather than drop 500 on the NT Mini? And no, yeah, I don't think that you are.
No, the AVS is.
Some people would even say that that the AVS is the better choice. I mean, even though it's only 720p, scan lines will look really good at 720p. Some people like to design it because it looks more like it goes well with like the original NES design.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people like really complain about the AVS design, and I honestly don't get it. Like, I think it's really cool. I mean, I prefer the aesthetic direction that Analog took with the Super NT and Mega SG over the NT personally, because like it's kind of pretentious, the NT Mini is like it feels like a shame to be a video game system. Like, it feels like it has to be something better than a video game system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, the others, like, it's, the Mega SG and Super NT is like, hey, it's a video game system. Like, let's just make it look like a video game system. It's a really cool looking video game system. It's very attractively designed, but it's not like, I don't know, the metal thing, like, it looks cool, but I don't know, it doesn't do that much for me. I would have rather seen an NT Mini that, was priced like the others.
We got a $5 donation from Ben Brody.
Oh.
I used my original NES and composite on my CRT. Everybody in the chat must think I'm some sort of heathen with their fancy HDMI solution.
Well, I've been making a lot more use of composite in S video lately, especially with like the first episode of Analog Frontiers. Mm-hmm. And we're going to we're talking about doing a mini episode before,
ideally for next weekend. We're going
to try to get a mini episode done for next weekend. We want to do one about like some of the transcoders that have come up lately, like the Coury and Mike Cheese, like RGB to component and vice versa encoders. And the Retrode, even though it's not a transcoder, like it is a related product in the sense that someone might be choosing between a Coury or a Retrode tank. So we'll look at all those. So anyway, something that I'm probably going to come up in that episode is like I feel like I've kind of getting into composite lately. Like, I wouldn't use it for like my main stuff, but I don't know. I enjoy, the fact that I can use it to make something that fits the look of the times.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's hard for me to figure out a setup here to be able to use it that often. But I mean, you never know. Yeah, I mean, everything has its place like that.
Mm-hmm.
And showing composite on a CRT, it has a certain realness to it. I guess when you look at it on a CRT, it looks just like you remember the game in your mind. At least I.
Oh no!
Whoa! Whoa! My Retrode 2X Pro just showed up, and it's pretty cool looking. I love the case on it.
Yeah, it's like the Carby case.
Right.
I think it's made by the same company, like the actual outer casing.
Right. It's got a frosted look to it.
Yeah. Like it's a really high quality feeling shell. This enemy does not have a life bar.
I sent you a lab master, Fox.
So as soon as my Landmaster blows up, Peppy just sends another.
Oh, did I watched some of the over the top podcast with Bithead. I watched I went to a fundraiser for my daughter's school last night, so I got home really late, but I got to see some of the podcasts that what is it, Overthink Gaming and Loaded Gaming, I think, did with Bithead. It's like an hour and a half long or something, and I realized that they gave me a shout out. That's crazy. I'll have to watch it. I mean, I started watching it last night, but I'm like such a lightweight now that like I drank 4 beers last night and I was it's like I was not feeling too hot today. It's stupid. Like what happened? Like 4 beers and like literally like over the course of like 4 hours. I don't know what my problem is, but it's just because I barely drink anymore.
Hey.
We got a $2 donation from Tenchi Ruya. Thank you. It says you can't see the life bar because Slippy died.
That makes sense. I wasn't Star Fox 64 like that too? You know, analyze an enemy shield or whatever, you know?
Right, yeah. That's cool. It gives them a little bit more, gives them more of like a presence, I guess.
Yeah.
Paul Sutton says, welcome to the old core. And it's true. I mean, what can I say? It got to the point where if I was like feeling like I was going to be hungover, I don't mind going to things and having like a couple of beers and, you know, like every once in a while, but it's just sometimes it's just not worth it. Like I'm not going to just like hang out at home and drink. Because it's just not worth it. Like basically it ruins my entire next day. I mean, I can't help it. It's just the way that my life has happened. But they are absolutely rookie numbers.
Why'd you run to such a vile place?
This colony's supposed to be a hideout for
Been on the
ghosts,
downslide
sons of
since
criminals.
since my son was born. It was fine with one kid, but then two, it's
This is the Star Fox team. We're here for a hog named Pigma. We don't want trouble.
We don't know about no Pigma
yeah.
or any other fool.
JJJ John might be right.
Come on, you lazy scum. Let's skin this fox and his whole crew. Get more guys up here. Come on. Hey, I got a message from my dad. It's about the core memory that Pigma nabbed. He says it might contain the location of the Asteroid homeworld. We gotta get it back.
Back to the Fixel says, you ever see that?
Gateway initiation detected. Enemy force increasing.
Says, you ever see that old Behead video where he gives you tips on yard sale shopping? He cuts a hole in the bottom of his car, attaches a tube and funnel, and pees down it from the driver's seat. I did not see that one.
All right, leave space to us.
Be careful, Fox.
He's made so many videos that there's definitely a lot that I have not seen. It is interesting though, if you like watching his videos now and you go back to like his first several videos, he's like so positive and like all like, you know, bright-eyed and smiling about everything and excited. I mean, he still gets excited, but it's a different kind of passion now.
Two foot levels in a row, huh?
This is
I
Fox.
know.
I made it inside.
That's kind of surprising, really.
How are things on your end, Slippy?
I made it too.
That's what I meant.
Let's get this
Like,
operation
oh.
started.
It would be one thing if it alternated back and forth.
Yeah.
Look. There. That's
Those things look like the
And here we go.
ships from the blockade runner from Star Wars.
Oh yeah. I'm going to I'll back out and see if I can change the controls to be non-inverted.
I got a $5 Canadian from Golden Retro
Actually,
Games.
I mean, I don't see.
Is there a device that you can connect via RGB to a PVM to control height and width of the image?
I don't think you
some-
can change it actually.
Some arcade PCBs display too high or too wide on my display. Oh, you gotta press Y.
Wait, what?
It says press Y.
I mean, I did say controller details, but there doesn't seem to be. There doesn't seem to be anything you. Oh wait, how'd that come up? Oh, you have to A.
I'm gonna read that again. We had a $5 Canadian donation from Golden Retro Games. It says, "Is there a device that you can connect via RGB to a PVM to control height and width of the image? Some arcade PCBs display too high or wide on my display." I mean, not that I know of. It would have to it would have to go through some sort of frame buffer to be able to do that, wouldn't it?
To do for what we're talking about, OSSC with PCBs?
No, just like a device you can connect via RGB to a PVM to control height and width of the image.
Well, you know what? I don't know what it is, but when I was hanging out with Matt and Steve, they were talking about some Extron box that can you can change the vertical and horizontal on the fly.
Oh, okay. Next gen RGB interface. I mean, maybe that's the thing I have in there. I don't know if that is. I have like a 108.
I want to think they said it was even with a dial, which sounds awesome.
Curse you, Pigma.
Down.
We're...
Wait, I got more guys.
He's with
Oh, unfelt.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the thing I have because I used to run my Dreamcast through it.
Whoa, Assault was originally supposed to just be a multiplayer game? It's kind of crazy. That's probably why there's a lot of on foot levels. Of course, now I got kind of I'll probably struggle for a while because I got used to it.
You forget, your brain had already kind of switched over.
Yeah.
Destroy the targets before
But hopefully by the time I actually finish this mission, my brain will have switched back to what I'm actually used to.
That's so. Can you can invert left and right too?
Well, I mean,
Invert left and right.
left and right was always not inverted.
Whoa, there's a
Oh, okay.
Because
So
it's
actually,
aiming. I don't think for aiming anything has ever really.
are you using that
defaulted.
GameCube controller that you would put like a regular GameCube?
I reversed that.
Ah,
I
I feel like this game would be the main reason to use it.
it didn't the it didn't work that great.
Things get dicey.
Because like even though they look the same, like the openings are a little different and it kind of grinded against it. Like I tried to use like some sandpaper or something to see if I could, kind of widen it a bit, but it just, I don't know. Once I actually did it, it felt wrong.
We had a $5 donation from Kodo Kun. It says, playing Star Fox 64 during the stream. I used to host assault tournaments to my house often.
Oh.
Star Fox fan till death. Well, that's you're in it for the long haul. I mean, that's impressive. I never even knew that a Star Fox assault like a multiplayer versus a scene for it. Or maybe you were the entire scene.
Whoa. It's like a very sudden zoom.
I wonder if these on-foot levels, if they're really easy to speed run.
If they're easy to speed run?
Yeah, like once you really know how to do it, if it's easy just to blow through them.
Well, I mean, it feels like there's a lot of AI on the enemies, so I kind of suspect they're like, I don't know, like maybe not as predictable as like a normal single player game.
Right.
Because I can now that someone says like it was originally supposed to be a multiplayer game, like I kind of understand like what the that kind of helps me understand what the game was going for, I guess, and why the on-foot stuff is such a focus.
Paul Sutton says he's very disappointed with foxtail physics in this game.
Yep. As good as ever, Fox.
Yeah, especially when riding forward, it's like all over the place. Look at that. I'm still disappointed that like first shading was like this big huge deal in Star Fox Adventures, and like to this day it's like, why when I see a dog in like a random AAA game on PS4 or whatever, why do they still have like the crappiest like geometry that's like attempting to be their fur? Like it, like I don't understand why a 60 frames per second game on the GameCube did that with no problem. And like the Mario Galaxy games and stuff, like
Are you okay, Fox?
they had that, with like the bees and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nintendo has continued to do it from time to time, but you just don't. I feel like it's something you don't see a lot. I think I played something not too long ago that was actually kind of impressive looking for. What was it?
Enemy reinforcements confirmed.
Maybe Hellblade? Like, was there something in Hellblade that kind of had a good fur shading thing? I don't quite remember what it was.
Miles Kirsch was asking if there's any confirmed Expo panels this year. We are originally just about to go to the SoCal Retro Gaming Expo. But we actually canceled before like we had bought our tickets or anything due to increasing concerns of
The enemy forces will take this quadrant.
travel illness.
I mean,
around it.
I was not so much worried about illness as I was
The enemy
like, you know, what if we can't like get a ticket reimbursed? Like,
Right.
not knowing how the situation might evolve over the coming weeks. I mean, what if there's like some sort of travel restriction and, you know, we can't do anything about our ticket, you know? I mean, who knows what's going to happen?
Well, I mean, we would have been reimbursed for the ticket, but I mean, I'd rather that not happen and not have to
Blast the space fighters.
like feel bad that I guess that I mean, if we would get reimbursed, I don't know. I mean, we would
considering GDC was delayed, like, I mean,
right.
we don't even.
I just thought it was, and you know, like my
That
wife
could be
was-
delayed too.
And she was like, I was like, I don't know. It's just like it seems like you can say you're not going to go. And I just think it'd be safer because if you're going to go anywhere, like we'd be going to one of the places probably be like one of the worst places to go if there's issues with that. Either way, we were going to go, but canceled it. So there's no other things.
But I'm sure we'll be going to something.
Oh yeah, for sure. We had a $5 donation from JJJ John, who says, will HD Retrovision's Dreamcast component cables be better than VGA quality? And also, do you like OSSC or RetroTink/RetroTink Pro better for general use?
What's a failure? I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing.
I think that the HD Retrovision's component cables will be the exact same as VGA quality.
That's
but
the
just a lot
impression
more
that I'm under.
And also, we both use the OSSC for general use. We've been using the OSSC for general use for probably 2 years now.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We got 60 MX Mexican pesos, maybe.
Thank you. Yeah, yep.
From Carlos I'm gonna mess it up. I apologize. From Carlos Tonetu Tovar Zuniga.
Thank
Says
you.
best regards from the land of the god Artemio Urbina. Love your videos. Please review on detail the GBS 8200 with custom firmware. It's amazing.
That would
something-
be like a good mini episode or something. I definitely would like to try that sometime. I don't know much about like, do you need like special tools to
I
put
have
it
no
on,
idea.
though?
I mean, I have not paid attention to it in a while there. I mean, since I gave it to you, essentially.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the details of the custom firmware, but it's definitely interesting for being a, you know, such an affordable device.
Fonzie Thurum is asking if the HD Retrovision cables introduce any kind of lag, and they do not. It's essentially just like a pass-through of the signal. So any lag that you would have would be based on what your display deals with. JJJ John is saying, I thought VGA was better than component. I mean, they should be. I mean, they shouldn't be a really a difference at all. VGA.
I mean, it should be able to be just as sharp.
Right.
I can't see a reason it wouldn't be. I mean, it's just a different standard.
Right.
But I guess if it is truly equivalent, I mean that'll confirm that they are capable of being just as good.
Right. As Vanessa is saying, the FrameMeister is great for its time. Great products are now coming out, and it's all in part for products because of the. And it's in part for products like the FrameMeister, so we all benefit. And I mean, That's very true. I mean, the Framemeister is still great for basically if you have it, you know, like it's amazing.
I mean, something Bob always says on the podcasts is, you know,
there's really no reason if you're like on a limited budget, if you're happy with the Framemeister, there's no reason to switch over to the OSST.
I mean, you know, it's something that Bob always says on his podcast is, you know, just because a new device came out or a new version doesn't like suddenly make the one you have bad. Like a lot of people like get really upset with like, you know, there are new versions of you know, the EverDrives and stuff, and it's like it's not like your EverDrive is suddenly bad.
Right. And I mean, a lot of the stuff is happening. A lot of the stuff that's coming out, like, you know, it's happening because the Framemeister existed.
Yeah, I think that's very true. Like it kind of came up in Rachel's interview on the in Analog Frontiers that, you know, like she feels like the reason there was demand for her cables when she started selling it was just, you know, the fact that there was a good scaler that people could buy that was just, you know, kind of a lot more accessible, and there was, I guess, more awareness of that scaler, and people were getting interested in doing SCART and stuff. And, you know, I think a lot of the scene, you know, including us, just grew out of the Framemeister. I mean,
but I mean, for people that are looking for rock solid compatibility, you know, it's still a great, still basically like the best.
And it's the best de-interlacing option.
Yes, I mean, and I know that you and I differ on our opinions on that, and I prefer to use the Framemeister for ADI stuff. And I know that you like the Bob interlace, and I don't mind.
I don't necessarily like it per se, but
you don't mind it, and I don't mind it in terms of. I think it gets across what interlacing looks like better in video form, but when I'm just like making a video on a lot of stuff that just happens to be interlaced, I use the Framemeister for sure.
Should I like be flying or something? Like I don't really know what the objective is here.
Oh, we got I missed it. We had a $25 donation. Thank you. Jeez, thank you. From Super Guy 88.
Oh, thank you.
Just swinging by to show my support. With a peace sign. Well, thank you.
Hey, stop joking around.
Try to tolerate Bob D interlacing. You know, it's. We should make a. I feel like we need to make a character whose name is Bob D interlacing. You know, it's our old friend. You know Bob the Interlacing? Oh, yeah. I haven't seen him since high school. And Bob can play him, and I don't know, he'll have like really long hair. His name is Bob.
It seems like that meter goes down if I help outside.
57 Rise says, I remember wanting to like this game so bad.
Use your bombs wisely.
I don't think there's anything outside.
Attack of the Pixel says, Bob the Interlacing would be a friendly drunk who comes to your house and makes your crappy 480i games look slightly less crappy. So, hey! And then you want him to leave right away, but it's like, no, he sticks around for a while.
How do I get back inside? Oh wait, there's a ship out there. I should try to get rid of it.
Oh, we got Classic Gaming Quarterly's in the chat.
Oh,
Says, Bob the Interlacing sounds like a guy who got into trouble with drugs and alcohol after high school. Yeah. I was I was talking to CGQ about my Sega game counselor pen pals the other night.
Oh yeah.
Apparently he hadn't heard about it before.
That's it, Fox.
I showed him the drawing of America's #1 crime fighter.
Did
We had a
what?
we had a $2 donation from Jonathan G saying you guys should do something with the Retronauts again. To be just like on a normal episode of Retronauts is a major goal for me. I was able to be on the panel at the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, and I was like excited about it, but like right before it started, I got super nervous out of nowhere, and I feel like I didn't do very good during it. But just to be like on a normal episode, even just like talking about some games, like I would love to do something like that. It's definitely a bucket list thing for me, because I said it all the time. I don't know if I've said it during the stream, but I mean, when I lived in New York, I listened to Retronauts like every episode for years straight during my commute.
Enemy ship down.
But it would be fun just to talk about just like a series of games or something like that, and play a bunch of them before
Absolutely.
be able to talk about it. But yeah, before that panel, I got real nervous. What's really funny though is like one of my local friends here doesn't like. I mean, he knows that I do like some YouTube stuff. Doesn't really know too much, and he's like, I listen to Retronauts. It's like he like listens to like 3 podcasts, and he's like, I was listening to Retronauts, and you were on it. He was kind of amazed by it. I think he's not expecting it to happen. I mean, well, he wasn't expecting it to happen, obviously, but it was kind of a weird thing where certain aspects and people I know in my life, like it crosses over. Let's see. ABO Hiccups is saying, what GC video device are you using? Is it firmware upgradable through Swiss? He's using the Carby, and
which is now firmware upgradable. If you have to use a JTAG to update it to 3.0, but once it is 3.0, if there are any future updates, you can update it through your SD card.
Yeah, so once it's updated going forward, everyone will be able to update it on it. Well, I mean, I wasn't like on like a real episode of Retronauts. It was a panel from the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo that I was on. It was me, Jeremy Parrish, and Frank Sifley. And like those guys are are way smarter about stuff than me, and I are used to like talking to like a large group of people. And I'm fine, especially like when it's Try and I doing panels, but just like right before the panel started, I was like got really, really nervous, and it probably comes across on there. What's really funny is that Bob Mackey is on Retronauts, and I've been meaning to send it to him for a long time, but very close to the place that I just moved, there is a bar, like a haunted, like a bar that's only open on weekends. It's like this kind of like rundown shack place, but it's also haunted, and it's called Bobby Mackey's. Which is I've keep on meaning to send a tweet to him with like a photo of it, but it's like it's only open on weekends, and it's like it has a huge parking lot. It just gets packed. Apparently they have like a mechanical bull in there, and I guess it's there's like it's haunted, and it has a it has a ghost tour.
You can use a sniper rifle to pick off foes.
Destruction of transfer device confirmed.
Enemy ship down!
What kind of topic or episode of Retro Announcement would you be on? I don't even know. It's honestly, it's been a little while since I've listened now, because since I have a commute, I don't listen as much. Only time I really listen to podcasts now is when I'm making a long drive or something like that. So I don't know. I remember saying like it'd be cool to do a Phantasy Star, but I think that they redid it. They did another Phantasy Star episode like not too long ago. Do I believe in ghosts? I mean, I do. I mean, I've never seen it. I think, who was I was talking to somebody recently that I think that I believe in a lot of this stuff because my brother had all those Time Life books, like alien stories and all this other stuff. He had like a full collection of those. And I think that that's what got me thinking about a lot of this stuff. But I do believe in it.
I think I'll torment you a bit before I cook you.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Banter, and all who see my roles meet death.
Is this the first game with Panther in it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he was
The
also
only
in
game with
Command.
Panther in it.
I think he's in Command. I mean, I definitely recognize that character.
But there is one thing. I'm owed an apology, and I will have it.
Avio Hiccups was wondering, do you have the Monoprice 8-to-1 HDMI switcher?
I do.
Right, with the constantly blinking.
Yeah, I always place it out of my line of view.
Does Dreamcast for the Akuro/Gecko HDMI box work with the M Classic connected to an HDMI output of Monoprice HDMI switcher without screen flickering? I have no idea. That's probably not even a setup that you've tried before.
Wait,
you don't even have
say again. I was paying attention to the game.
Is saying, does the Dreamcast with the Akura or Gecko HDMI box work with M Classic connected to the HDMI output of Monoprice HDMI without screen?
I mean, I'm sure it would work, but that's not a video chain that interests me personally.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
gosh.
really don't like.
I don't know how to get out of here. Yeah, I don't. The M Class. Well, I haven't used the M Classic, but the M Cable Classic Edition really annoyed me just because it was a pain to integrate into my setup, like to capture it at all, because I couldn't get to work like through a switcher even. So like I could only capture with a direct connection, so I had to like.
Show your face.
Slippy, got it. You're in charge of
I had to capture it like playing the game through the capture window. And it was obnoxious.
Marquez Johnson says the Time Life Secrets of the Unknown. Is that the books? There's a whole series. And I'm pretty sure that he had all of them. It was all black, and he had a little square picture in the middle. There's one part of those books that I specifically remember about, like lucid dreaming and being able to leave your body when you sleep.
What do you think I am?
I kind of had like maybe almost a lucid dream not that long ago, but like I felt like I was in control for like just a few seconds before it was just gone.
So I've been having this issue. I mean, probably for a couple of years now. I don't know why it's happening, but things I've read say like, oh, might have to do with like your breathing or something. But when I go to sleep and I'm laying on my back, I will always have a nightmare.
That's crazy. I think you
wake
mentioned
up.
that before.
And I will wake up and I roll on my side and I'll fall back asleep. But I mean, it happens all the time. It's always like really messed up stuff.
It's not like
it's not even things that I would think about in my day-to-day life. It's like really just like weird things. So the one I had on Thursday night is I was like changing a light bulb and it broke and all the glass from the light bulb felt like dropped down in my mouth.
Oh gosh.
Like it's horrifying, right?
I cannot fall asleep on my back. I might sometimes wake up on my back, but I cannot. I never fall asleep on my back. Like I can't do it. Like I kind of wish that I could, because I mean it's not like I'm uncomfortable laying on my back. But I don't know why. Like I just have to be on my side or stomach to fall asleep.
I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I'm not saying it's like sleep apnea, and I might need a CPAP. I mean,
wouldn't your wife know? Like, isn't it like obvious?
Yeah, but it's not a problem if I'm not sleeping on my back.
I mean, I've always heard that, like, aside from sleep apnea, sleeping on your back is like the best position to be sleeping in. But if you know, like that's the most likely way to trigger sleep apnea.
I do want to scroll back up and say the Serdan 357 says, I'm having a lucid dream right now. This game is actually good in it. But yeah, it's there's one time where I was like looked out my window and like the big building across the river in Cincinnati like tipped over and fell over. It's just like really random stuff that I would never think about in any other like aspect of my life. And it just happens over and over again. Like it's only when I fall asleep on my back, and it's always right away. And then I'll wake up and I'll move, and like sometimes it's like it messes with me enough that I'll just like be awake for a little bit, and I'll like look on my phone to like just get my mind off of it for a little bit. But for the most part, I mean it's gone the next time I fall. It doesn't happen again.
I have a problem with like.
And Baggage Schmidt says is right. It says I don't even have dreams otherwise unless I'm on my back and it's a nightmare. And I don't dream very often.
I go through phases, but in general, I tend to have relatively vivid dreams, like just dreams that just have like, you know, like almost like a storyline.
We had a $1.99 from Paul Sutton saying that the chat says to use charge shots on Wolf.
I mean, it definitely locks on, but I mean, it's hard to really get it. Oh, I guess I can see that did do a pretty good chunk of damage. I mean, I did notice on normal enemies that that charge shots, I feel like they do more bonus damage than they do in like Star Fox 64. See, my charge shot missed him there.
See, this is creepy. Attack of the Pixel says, back in the old days, before we had the science we have now, sleep apnea was represented in art as a demon on your chest when you sleep.
I thought that was what night terrors were.
What?
I thought that was night terrors.
Well.
I mean, maybe both.
Don't mess with
There was one of my friends in high school had night terrors, and when we were in Germany, I was not in the same room as him most days, but there was one day I was in the same room as him, and he had night terror. He was just going, ah!
Enough of this.
And then, you know, one of our other friends, I was like, hey, are you okay? He's like, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
But
Is asking, not sure if this was answered before, but will you guys cover the new RetroTink stuff, including the 2X Pro, 2X SCART, and the RGB and comp converters? We're gonna record a mini on that stuff this week.
Yeah, we don't have the 2X SCART though, but I mean, I would expect it to be, you know, equivalent to the other version, just with less inputs.
I believe the comm record will point you toward Vichina. You
Uh,
talk too much. Banter.
Play a Super Metroid: A Link to the Past randomizer.
Star Wolf will take you down.
That could be interesting. You can just like generate like a ROM from it. You like upload a ROM to it, and it spits out a random one.
Yeah, or it generates a patch, I think, that you apply to your ROM.
Oh, okay.
Slippy, do you think the targeting system's a bit off?
Are you doubting my skills as a mechanic? Really?
I was talking to an old friend yesterday, and I was playing Final Fantasy 14 yesterday, and talking to a friend who was telling me about a Final Fantasy 6 randomizer he was in the middle of playing. Where like you start off like with one random character, and you have access to the airship from the beginning, and from the airship you can choose to go World of Ruin or World of Balance. And like any like point in the game that has like where you would get a character or get an Esper or something important, like you will get a character or an Esper, but you don't know what it might be. Or you might fight like a different enemy at a different point or something like that. So he started off with Mog. And you start at like level 5, I think he said, and like the enemies like actually scale with you. So you could do the events in any order, basically.
Our wings in this weather?
We have no choice. I'll go down and get the generator back up.
Well, that'd be cool. Maybe I'll do that sometime.
Okay.
Playing the hero again, huh, Foxy? Hey.
I've actually been randomly in the mood for, I kind of feel like I want to do like a replay of Final Fantasy 4.
Makes me hibernate.
Replay of what?
I feel like doing a replay of Final Fantasy 4 for some reason.
There are wings at any time.
I mean, it's not that long of a game, really. Like once you know what you're doing. Last time I played it was when I played the PSP version, like right after I got my second PSP. Like the style that they went with for those like Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 4 remakes is so good. Like I would love to see them recycle that and do 5 and 6 that way.
Yeah.
And 3.
That's surprising they never did that.
Yeah, I know, but then they did that awful style for mobile, you know?
Blow up the generators.
Yeah.
Don't go overboard, Fox.
It's under control.
Then get going and do it. We're just spinning our wheels
You
here.
can transition between both games
Careful
via
what you
several
wish for,
areas, like
Falco.
Is it like one giant ROM, then?
Got it.
Shield generators are being shown on your radar. There are 3 of them in all. It's up to you, Fox.
That's cool.
This blizzard is something else.
Is it playable on a SD to SNES? Or I'm sorry, the FX Pack Pro.
Wait, is it Pro? It's not just FX Pack?
Nope, it's FX Pack Pro.
The shield generators should look like tall towers. Use your radar to find the shield generator.
Interesting. That'd be cool. See, and this is, this is just a Landmaster.
Landmaster is not fun.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
walking on foot is more fun, but I feel more protected being in this, so I guess I'm in it.
Yeah. What are the enemies called again?
What enemies?
Like the name of the bugs. What are they called again? I forgot what the names are.
I mean, they're talking about something called apatoids.
Aporoids. Yeah, aporoids.
Is that what they are? Like, I've lost track of the plot. Like, what are aporoids and why are we concerned about them?
Yeah, well, they're kind of like the Borg in Star Trek. They take over everything. Joshua Helmke had a $5 donation.
Thank you.
Says, Mark, if you play FF4, be sure to install the naming way patch via your UFO cart.
What is that? What is
Why
that?
do I remember hearing about that, but I don't remember what it did.
What does that let you do?
For the love of the game, saying that tank noise is giving me a headache.
I hear like some sort of pew 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 sound, but I don't know if it's a tank or. I have no idea where these generators are. Oh, there's one.
And it looks like I'm swimming in the deep sea. Yeah, doesn't it?
Oh, with your lighting?
Yeah. Hey, wait, there we go. It kind of lose a little bit because of my monitor screen.
That's it. That's the power supply.
Looking good, Fox.
It's fun to be able to screw around with it.
I should replay Star Fox Zero sometime, though. I mean, it was.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
It was fine. Like, I mean, a lot of people are just motion controls automatically equal bad.
Right.
But the motion controls were fine. The only thing I didn't like about it was there were some vehicles. I think it was like the. There was some sort of copter thing. It was really slow.
yeah, I remember that too.
I just remember it was really
like
slow.
Gyrocopter or something like that, right?
Yeah, it was something like that. It was slow and not very fun, but like outside of that, like I remember the game being fine, but I played it. I remember I think I had an event that I had to shoot at my old job.
We have to believe in Fox. That's all we can do. Fox?
And I remember getting home at like 9 and just like beating the game. Which I expected, you know. I don't expect Star Fox to be long. I did see this as more like a 5-hour game, so it's not like I'm beating it tonight.
You gonna continue it on the?
I might if we need to switch to something else. Like if I'm not sure what we might play tomorrow. Maybe a Metal Slug game. Depends on Drum's hands.
Destroy the last generator
But
and the shield will vanish.
you know, I might try and finish this if I have time for something else. I didn't want, like, there were several other games that I thought about playing tonight, but like, what was it? There was something that I was thinking about playing that I looked up how long it was and it was like more like 10 hours or so. Oh yeah, I was thinking about playing Mega Man ZX on the collection. But like it was looking like it was more like a 10 or 12 hour game, which is not like super long, but like longer of a game than I felt like starting right now. Because like kind of the thing I'm into right now is Final Fantasy 14. I'm trying to finish Stormblood, which I would like to finish that before Final Fantasy 7 comes out. I'd like to finish it before Resident Evil 3 comes out, but I don't. Or actually, I'd like to finish it before Animal Crossing. That'd be the ideal. But, you know, obviously I'll also be working on Analog Frontiers Part 2.
Right.
And, like, I would love to be done with that before Final Fantasy VII comes out, because I really kind of just want to binge that. But I don't know. I mean, we might feel a little less pressure to, like... Oh, I'm on foot now. Maybe we'll feel a little less pressure to rush that out. You know, because we'll be working on other episodes and stuff, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact is that we really just want to have the whole thing released and done with.
Yes. But it's nice that the first one is out, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, I just need to do this mini. I should have already had be almost finished with an episode by now, but I just...
Shield generators are being shown on your radar.
Oh man,
It's up to you, Fox.
But,
did
I mean,
all of the shield generators come back?
You're going to have to take out the power supply. Once you do,
Like it respawns you instantly. It feels like... Yeah, I guess so. They all came back. You know, I was, I end up, I'd be curious if anyone in the chat has come across this problem. I record like a whole bunch of GameCube stuff yesterday. You know, those shots that we do in controller episodes where we actually show like the game in the corner and then we've got like our hands actually using the controller. Mm-hmm. And the way those are synced up is by we use a program called Pluralize that uses audio on two clips to sync them up. And so, you know, we have a microphone on the camera that hears, you know, the audio over our sound system or whatever. And, you know, and then you need audio in the game recording. Well, audio was not in my game recording for all the stuff that I shot of GameCube yesterday. And I remembered what the reason was, and sometimes when I activate, if I activate 480p, I won't have sound through the OSSC. And you know, maybe it's my capture card that's having an issue. But when I change resolutions, normally it's fine. It's just something about, like, so then I have to like change the resolution on the OSSC and then go back to 480p and then I'll have audio. And I totally forgot about that. And
you record all that stuff without
I recorded like, you know, I was doing this for like, probably like 2 hours yesterday and there's no audio on any of it.
Yeah,
like, I could hear the audio over my sound system, you know, because the G-Comp is plugged directly into it, but...
I see someone saying, where's the analog DAC episode? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we're gonna...
Yeah, I mean, that's another mini that we could, like, do pretty soon, I guess. But I just kind of, I mean, I have not messed with that as much as you have. And I haven't even used the released version yet.
Right. But I mean, even still, I think that we could probably do both of those fairly quick. And it's only because, like, since my move and everything, I've wanted to get everything been running. And even when it always feels like when I'm ready to, like, kind of commit and get into something, then it's like, oh, well, I should do this. So, I mean, but I'm pretty sure that everything is exactly the way it needs to be as of now. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
There is so much stuff going on right here.
And yes, there's like the memory cards and he did mention the it's the First Party Controllers follow-up
We
episode.
have to believe in Fox. That's all we can do.
And
Fox?
Where's my landmaster?
got that rocket launcher.
I know,
You
but
can
like,
barrel roll in the tank. Did you know that?
huh?
You can barrel roll in the tank.
I might know that.
Probably
I don't
not.
know. I just don't want to die right now.
Oh, we had a $5 donation from Joshua Helmicke a while ago. I apologize for missing that. Said that the Final Fantasy IV Naming Way patch is a translation patch that relocalizes the script.
Is it like the PlayStation script? Or is it like a new fan translation? I mean, I have no problem with the original translation.
Yeah, I don't remember having any problems with it either. It's a fan translation based more closely on the original Japanese script. There's a lot of conversation about Jimmy Hoppa's new video, his new Goemon video. I think it's the PS1 game he covers.
Oh,
I've not seen it.
I know about it. I'd like to watch it. Man, this is really annoying. I have no idea how to... Like, I'm assuming I have to hit these things in the face, but it's, like, so hard to get to where I have a shot at it. Like, they keep... It seems like they keep...
Shield's gotta be dealt with first, Fox.
It seems like
Use your radar to find the
keep
shield generator.
turning their back to me. Maybe I can shoot this thing from here? I don't know if I can actually hit it. Oh, there we go.
The climate control center shield has been disabled.
Woo! Now we can put an end to this blizzard.
What's really, I have no idea why it's on today. Like I just wasn't feeling too great this morning, so I like just put on a movie and like watched for a little while, and it was like the first thing that was in my, like in my Voodoo account, and I'm like, I guess I'll watch that. It was Final Fantasy 15 Kingsglaive.
Oh,
which
had you even watched it?
I've seen it before. I watched it before I played the game, but I watch it now and I'm like, it's like total nonsense. Like it doesn't, like it makes almost no sense at all. Like you have no idea what's going on.
I mean, yeah, it definitely like gets kind of like into it with like not a lot of context. Like there's not a lot of like introduction to the world.
That's the end of
But like,
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool, like as a setup. But that was before I played the game. And then when I played the game, I was just like,
oh, it has nothing to do with anything that happened.
I was, well, the problem is, I, you know, if you look at like the old Final Fantasy Versus 13 trailers, they intended to like have Noctis in the capital city, like when it was overtaken, right?
Right.
And like once I played the game, and then it's just like they like read in the newspaper that the like the capital city was taken over and that the king is dead, and it's just like it's such a distant thing, and it's
Yeah.
like they could. Why were they so afraid to like not have like that stuff? Like they wanted to get to like the open world gameplay like as soon as possible, basically.
And if they had the stuff in the city beforehand, it probably would have made the open world stuff hit a lot harder.
It would have made so much. I mean, you would have had that leaving Midgar moment. And I feel like that was such a missed opportunity, and would have just set up the world and the characters and everything just so much better if like your party had been involved in that stuff that happens in the capital city. It would have been so much better.
Yeah.
Like I thought the movie was kind of cool. Like, I mean, kind of the coolest thing about it, I think, is that there's like there's that whole part later in the movie where like they're fighting like ultras.
Yeah, that was the best part of the whole movie. The fact that Ultros was in it. It's like a summon. It was totally random.
Hey, when am I gonna get to that control center?
Jason, you disagrees with the leaving Midgar moment. I mean,
You as an intruder.
Why is that?
Wait for the armor to open, Fox.
Fox,
See,
your
I-
survival is priority number one.
I mean, you have to keep in mind that like both of us kind of have mixed feelings about open world games in general.
right.
Like I like the idea of open world games, but
Stop whining, I'm almost there.
I don't like sort of the point A to point B gameplay that most of them tend to go for. And I love it when an open world game does not do that, or at least bucks some aspects of the guidance and handholding.
Before I get there.
Yeah, I mean,
But like I don't know, like I
Gotcha. Is that it?
Are you okay, Fox?
you know, the linear part of Final Fantasy 15 was not great, but
Eat this.
I felt like it hinted at a game that I would have rather played.
you would have preferred. Yeah, I mean,
Like if they had, instead of like trying to perfect the open
That was
world
a flashy entrance.
gameplay, I feel like if they had just made like a really, you know, like Final Fantasy 13, like for all the criticism it gets, I think it was a pretty tightly designed linear game. It certainly has its flaws, yes, but it feels more
Get out your
focused
blaster and take
than
care
Final
of our
Fantasy
virus,
15.
will ya?
Like, I don't know. I feel like the whole open world gameplay just, in a lot of ways, felt at
Here I
odds
come, Fox. Let's tear it up.
with like the story it was trying to tell.
Looks like the
But that's
sound
just
of the
me.
house calls, Fox.
That's just me.
Fox,
You know.
use the plasma cannon.
yeah.
He said
I mean,
use the plasma can. I think that's like the only gun I
Someone on the
have.
ground's locked onto us.
Oh wait, maybe I do have other guns. Oh, here's plasma.
What is
can.
the oldest
that's one.
game we've ever live streamed in this channel?
What? The what? The
Uh,
oldest game?
Classics is asking what the oldest game we've ever live streamed.
We've probably streamed Atari stuff on the NT Mini.
Yeah.
But like the oldest like actual like game that we played with like a real cartridge.
I'm on my way as well, Fox.
I don't know. Super Mario Brothers. I mean, we might have streamed something that released in Japan sooner. Like I don't know, like I might have played like Kung Fu, but I don't have a cartridge of that. That would have been on EverDrive or something.
Yeah. Attack of the Pixels is saying, I prefer linear games to open world games. For only playing one or two big open world games a year, like an Elder Scrolls or something.
Whoa, get out!
And
Right,
see, the
I
thing is,
prefer-
like, I consider Elder Scrolls like very. When I talk about like, I love Elder Scrolls.
Ridiculous. Fox, take care of that stupid problem.
And when I say like open world games, I'm talking more like the, you know, Rockstar, Ubisoft variety, where it's like I enjoy it, but like it's just not necessarily that amazing to me. Like there's, I don't know. It's a formula that I get tired of, and I wish more developers, you know, more AAA developers would focus on making like really tightly designed linear games, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's,
But I think part of the problem is, you
I'm the same
know,
way. I'd rather just, and not only that, but I prefer games that are under 10 hours,
I've been followed.
if possible.
I mean, I guess open world games are more compatible with the, you know, the so-called ecosystem concept. You know, they can more easily implement, you know, new content that, you know, slots into an open world.
Fox. There's a box. These guys are all over me. Get rid of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather just have something that's like 7-8 hours, if possible. And I'm okay with games that are much longer than that. It's just harder for me to plan for it.
Mm.
I finished the R-Wing
Like,
test
you know,
for-
weirdly enough, like,
I'm heading in your direction.
I used to, you know, as like a teenager, I used to always like try to spread apart my RPGs. Like, I didn't want to play like a lot of RPGs in a row. But like lately, I feel like I'm like always in the mood for an RPG. It's just that I don't always have time for it, so I end up playing a lot of shorter games instead. But like I feel like I always could go for an RPG right now in an ideal situation. Like I don't know. Like I feel like my love of RPGs like has grown over the years somehow. Whereas like before, it's like, whoo, I finished an RPG, like I loved it, but it's like I need a break.
Danger, danger. Climate control center generator approaching critical overload. Deal with Pigma later. Without the climate control.
Yeah, I mean, it's
again.
it's a commitment, and I mean, I can't more than one RPG like in a row. Like now it's like one a year. That, but not even really.
Got it.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. Whoa. That's a lot of stuff.
Watch for the hatch to open. That's your chance.
Front hatch?
We don't have much time.
That vile Pigma. He won't get away with this.
Let's waste.
Watch out! It's charging up energy.
Fox, look out!
It's not holding anything back.
Have not played Jedi Fallen Order. I've heard a lot of good things. My friend Joey played it, says that it's amazing.
You've got to utilize your brakes.
I'm kind of Star Wars'd out.
Ow.
Although I'm almost finished with Mandalorian finally.
The hatch is open. Now's your chance.
So what is the Nintendo PlayStation prototype up to at this point? Last time I looked, it was like 360,000.
Oh,
But I mean, that was like 2 days after like the auction started. How much longer is left on the
Your
auction?
bombs. Hold some of them in reserve.
It looks like the hatch opens after you defeat some enemies.
Yeah, I want to get into the Yakuza games also.
One more shot.
huh?
And Paul Sutton is saying that he played Yakuza Kiwami and really enjoyed it too much and put over 80 hours in. Waited him from moving on to the other.
Oh, see I Yakuza 0 took me like half a year to beat. And that, like, I thought it was fantastic. Like, especially like as a story. Like the gameplay was good, but not necessarily my thing. But I wasn't like interested in like all like the side stuff so much, and it kind of just felt like, oh man, I don't know if I want to do the others. But Yakuza Kiwami was on.
We gotta save this planet no matter what, Fox.
It was on sale. It was like on sale for like $9. So like, I couldn't say no to that. I don't know if shooting the thing from the side with a bomb counts as a hit or not, but it's really hard to actually get a good shot in there.
Oh wow!
this
So
is
the
not bad.
auction went down.
rests with you.
Really? How's that happen?
Now it's down to 280. Someone said would drawn their bid, but I wonder if it's going to skyrocket in the very end. I mean, I'd be sweating at that point. Oh man, am I going to make that much? Because some people are saying, oh, it's going to sell for over $1 million.
This is Fox. The climate control center generator is undamaged.
Looks like all the operates are gone too.
Nicely done, Fox.
I mean, I wonder if it's going to end up going to like a museum or something.
Man, that's just crazy.
I don't know.
Machines are machines, after all. Those without strong wills can be.
It does make you wonder how many more are out there. I mean, if there's one, there's got to be more.
Allies or enemies?
You'd think there would be, yeah.
What
Yeah.
is it, Fox?
Nothing. That sounds like someone I know. That's all.
I mean, a mold existed to make it.
Yeah.
Was I just talking to my sleep? No, I won't turn a profit by obeying them.
You gonna play another? It's 11:30 now.
I don't think I'm gonna play another mission, but I thought I might. I mean, unless you're ready to hang it up, I was thinking I might pop in another game.
I can get.
What were you saying?
I said I might be getting there.
Okay, well,
You have an announced plan?
I thought I might make one. I was recording. I played a 1080 Avalanche for the first time yesterday.
Uh-huh. And you liked it?
I mean, it's okay. But like, it was really, really easy to clear the first two
Don't mess with us, Pigma.
circuits or whatever.
So, is this like an amusement?
And I played a little bit of the third one, and I lost. You have 3 lives, and I lost on 2 missions. And I was like, well, I gotta quit. I gotta record other stuff. But I was like, it felt like I could finish the game really quickly. So I thought maybe I'll make one attempt at the expert circuit on that. if you were up for it.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So let me go get it.
Hope nobody minds. I'm gonna eat some mixed nuts. It's all me. Just me here eating some Kroger mixed nuts with sea salt. What's everyone's favorite kind of nut? I think cashews are probably the best.
These 1080 Avalanche and Star Fox Assault are among the pretty few like first party. I mean, if you consider Star Fox Assault first party, I mean, it was developed by Namco, but like I kept up with like the big Nintendo games pretty well during the GameCube era. There weren't too many that I skipped out on, but these are 2 games that I got within the past year or 2. So yesterday was the first time I even popped this one in.
What's up, yo?
Macadamia nuts are pretty good, but they're really expensive.
From what I played, the Akari's easier turning definitely made a big difference for me. I'm pretty sure she had the easiest turning in the first game too.
Living the easy life.
Yep, that's right.
Match 1. Easy Life. Revolution Clip. Akari.
This game is totally overshadowed by SSX for me. Absolutely. SSX 3 is amazing.
Well, I mean, I really like the first 1080. But like I have very limited SSX experience. Like one thing that like I've always had the impression that SSX was very heavily focused on tricks. Like, is that a fair assessment or not? Like
well,
like in 1080 I was never very very interested in tricks, but like it felt like you didn't. It felt like you didn't really have to get into that aspect of the game if you didn't want.
we had a $1.99 from friend Gaming Bloat who says SSX Chapter 1 Dark Unicorn. I mean, I would say that it's only focused on using tricks as in to like boost your speed.
Right, which I mean, unless they're like simple to do, like that kind of sounds annoying to me.
But if you just need to get part 3. There's a lot.
I mean,
to do.
I do plan. I intend to get it sometime. Like I've 3 is the one that you like the best.
And the game or the Xbox version has backwards compatibility.
On Xbox One? Hmm? Oh, I should get that version then.
Yeah.
I should keep an eye out for it. I bet it looks amazing. Have you tried it? I bet it looks incredible.
I haven't. I bet it does though. It's 4K actually.
Well, I mean, I think all. I don't know if it's native 4K, but I think all original Xbox games, get like 800p or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, 1800p, not 800p. It'll still be an upgrade.
I'll have to get that one. I have the GameCube and the PS2 version. I don't have that version. I only bought the GameCube version because I saw like perfect looking copy at Goodwill.
Whoa!
My Goodwill become such a disappointment.
Huh?
My Goodwill has become such a disappointment.
Oh, I mean, my Goodwill has always been a disappointment.
But mine was
Well,
really
I mean,
good.
when I first started going to that Goodwill, they still accepted CRTs for like a year. Man, it is the most baffling thing to me that the grid, which is that Goodwill operated electronics store around me that, has a lot of retro games. Like it is just baffling to me that they do not have CRTs. Like they would sell so well there. Like they couldn't keep them in stock. Like if they were really good, at least. This rotate to like regain your balance thing is new.
We got a $4.99 donation from Paul Sutton who says Trickin' Snowboarder is the best snowboarding game. It's all about Resident Evil Zombie Cop. I don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but those sound like words that intrigue me. Rotted Ridge.
That's where the Zombie Cop is in Rotted Ridge.
Yeah, I think this is the level where I quit playing before. Like you're in like a cabin at the very beginning that just like starts falling apart.
57 Rye is asking if we've ever had dreams about going and picking up PPM and BBM. I've never had a dream about that, but I've had dreams about finding like new old stock of like Master System games.
You know, whenever like I'm working on episode, I have these like I don't know if I should say nightmare exactly, but I have these like I just like feel paranoid or something in my sleep. It's like, oh, I forgot like this piece of information and that's really critical. And then like I wake up and I like realize that like whatever I was dreaming about was something that was like either untrue or completely irrelevant. But like in that state of like sleep or like almost sleep, like it seems important, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But like in a similar vein, like the night before I went up to Matt's to do the CRT stuff with Steve, like I had this dream that I still had my my 36-inch HD CRT, and then like I needed to bring it up there for him to work. I was just like, oh no. But then like when I woke up, like it kind of made me start thinking like, I wonder if there's any way to mod those HD CRTs to like bypass the digital circuitry and just to turn them into a true analog TV that does like scan lines properly and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be amazing, right?
Yeah, can you imagine if that was possible? Like there'd be a mass rush for them, probably.
I know. I would like regret not having it anymore. I would like have to go like steal it from the orphanage that I donated it to.
Steal it from all those kids.
I do wonder if it's like in use at all.
Oh, we got a $4.99 donation from our good friend Scott Davis.
Oh, thank you.
Saying, you guys have any experience with Xbox 360 mods? I did the steps to unlock complete OG Xbox core on mine. I can now play Advent Rising on a 360.
Oh.
I mean, I didn't even know that was a thing.
You know, I only tried the backwards compatibility. Oh.
Are they soft mods, or can you?
Sounds like a soft mod.
No.
I
Whoa.
only tried backwards compatibility on Xbox 360 one time. I actually played like, I don't know, maybe an hour of Halo 1. You know, which is actually the first time I played Halo 1 outside of like very briefly in the store years ago.
Wow.
And I mean, of course, I can't compare it to how it's supposed to run, but it seemed good. Like nothing jumped out at me as like, like I wonder if that wasn't supposed to be that way.
Gaming Blows is saying, Coury and Try, would you be hoping to turn Molecular Gaming into a full-time media occupation? Would you leave your current 9-to-5 or other gigs if you could, or is this eternally a very professional hobby for you both? I mean,
neither of us have 9-to-5s anymore.
Yeah, we're both.
But we
both
do
work.
take freelance work when we need to.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't say no to any freelance. But I mean, if we could make it so that it was constantly like it was like the main thing, like it would generate enough income to like make it so we didn't need anything else. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we do okay, but it's it is definitely not a full replacement for a 9-to-5 by any stretch. I do not really understand the grinding.
It looks like it's very similar to Tony Hawk.
Well, I don't
You gotta
really
keep it-
understand Tony Hawk.
We had a $2 donation from Colin Barron saying, "Have you tried merch? I'd wear my Life Gaming T-shirt." You can do it through the Teespring link on like it's on the videos. I'd like to do other T-shirts though,
Yeah.
like more unique T-shirts, I suppose.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
I would love to have somewhere like, you know, we actually have some printed and then we ship them for real, you know?
Right. But a lot of that comes with like figuring out a design, and you know, we're not going to have a design that has us in it. Like, I mean, I just feel like having like us in a shirt is like,
Obnoxious.
yeah, I don't think anybody wants that.
I do think an "Aw, come on" shirt with either of our
Aw, come
faces on would be a hit.
I mean, it might be. But I mean, I don't know what else to do for a T-shirt.
See, it feels like grinding always like leads me to somewhere I don't want to be.
And my mailbox was this shirt. Yes. Come on, mailbox.
It could just be like a picture of a banana. And it just says,
Yeah, or just a videotape.
Yeah. It's just like a videotape with a banana on it.
We got a $5 donation from Ben Brody saying, "Remember when we peer pressured Coury into beating Super Mario Brothers 3 and took him 5.5 hours, but was fun? We should make that into a T-shirt." I don't know how. Sorry.
Well, game over.
Game
Guess that's
over.
Well, I said I was just gonna do one attempt, so there you go. I guess it did one attempt. I wonder if there's anything.
It could be a Photoshop of me with huge bags on my Super Mario Brothers 3 in the background, and text that is a $100 donation that says "Don't quit."
How you doing? Hey, long time no see.
I'm trying to see if there's anything here that might show the.
That character out like his artwork.
Wait, what?
Like if you go back to the character select,
Yeah.
like his portrait, it looks like it was like drawn by like someone at Treasure.
Oh yeah. You're right. It looks like the the Sin and Punishment, like
yeah,
especially
or,
Sin and
like,
Punishment too.
Hi there.
Yeah.
Like especially like Ricky Winterborn there.
Yeah.
The others not so much, but yeah, something about it does kind of have that vibe about it. I wanted to look to see if like is there some screen somewhere that might. You do a land here.
Is the artist.
Oh, look at that! Look at that TV there. What is that? Is that? Oh, that's a VCR.
Hey, long time no see.
I want to take a close look and see if I can see anything that shows that that fact. Or you know what? I'm just going to go get a game that I know shows it off well, and I'm going to show it. I'm going to see if I can show it. Okay, show the effect of the chroma interpolation. I'm going to try.
Okay.
I'm going to get one more game.
Okay. I do feel like the Mario 3 live stream was probably the best, like our best live stream. It was so much. It was fun, and it was especially fun because I ended up finishing it. Yeah, I mean, almost. It's maybe just like a little bit more fun than the Prism stream. Just a touch. It's very close. It could go either way.
This is yet again a another Nintendo published game that I have not finished on GameCube, which I feel is relatively uncommon for me. Well, speaking of treasure.
No, I haven't finished this either. It's not. I don't think it was very fun. I tried to finish.
Well, you I don't think you played very far. You just kind of tested it out, right?
No, I played to the second world.
I used to own it, and I guess I thought it was boring.
The save file says it was 3.
Yeah, so I didn't finish. I remember it was pretty visible, like around here. So I think I may have used this as an example in the video, the GameCube update video. So let's see what I can do here. Oh, first of all, let me bring it up and see if I can make it show that.
This was Treasure developed also, wasn't it?
Well, there's no also. You just mentioned Treasure. I don't think there's any other Treasure game on GameCube, is there? It's not as.
Can you zoom in some?
Yeah, I'm going to. That's. I just wanted to look for myself to see if I could. You can see the difference. It's more of a difference rather than like a obvious like. Yes, this is better. But if you look at these hearts. You should see as a different. You should see a difference when I toggle.
Well,
you won't see the actual toggle text, unfortunately. But I'm going. You know, I have to do this away from my GameCube, so you probably won't hear me. Probably have to do it away from my mic.
Is everybody ready? This is going to be the most exciting thing you've seen all weekend. I wonder if he's toggling it. It doesn't look like you are. Are you toggling it?
I am. It's more obvious on the TV than it is when I look over at the capture card. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be a limitation of the...
I don't see shit.
I mean, it could be a limitation of the capture card.
It could be. But I mean...
like...
we'll believe you. We
I
believe
mean,
you.
I mean, to be fair, I need to do a... I need to do like a more complete, like compare it against how the same effect works on the component, the Car B component. And, I mean, it may be a different implementation, but it is an improvement. It is an improvement, I think. And if nothing else, that that chroma shift that was an earlier GC video firmware issue is fixed as well now. So that's that also improves things. But yeah, I considering those like issues have been resolved, like I find myself much more drawn to the idea of playing GameCube, via HDMI and capturing it that way, because I was pretty sold on using the Carby component as my main thing. And, considering I can 2X it through the OSSC, like it's still probably the best technically, even though this is pure digital. But I think this is a more maybe casual way to sit down and play some GameCube, maybe just sitting on the couch,
Oh yeah.
So I'm very glad I remembered to bring this to get it firmware flashed, because it makes me feel much better using HDMI.
Are they offering any kind of service to have it done?
I think so, but I don't. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure you can.
I'm sure there will be people that are doing.
I'm sure
updates.
if you ask, I'm sure they'll do it.
Right.
So.
Like I'll probably Dan will update mine. I wonder if he could do.
Oh sure, yeah. Oh, you already asked Dan to do yours?
Oh yeah, he said next time I am by his house, if I stop by, I can update it.
Oh.
We have to pull the whole thing apart. We got a $5 donation from JJJ John. Try? It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay if we don't see it. The point is that you see it.
I see it. I see it. It looks good.
Anyways, is that gonna do it for this week?
Yeah, I guess so.
We'll be doing
so hopefully by next video, our goal is to have
they have the mini out, just because
MLiG mini out.
I think the thing is that I gotta
you gotta warm up.
Yeah, I'm a little out of practice because I haven't done an episode since I haven't done anything like I haven't worked on a video outside of like shooting stuff since the end of last year. So it's been like 2 months.
Yeah,
I've been getting settled in.
That was just like
I feel like
mostly a gameplay editing episode too.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm pretty set up now back there, like B-roll. I don't know, you can't really see it back there, but I built a whole like a fake set. It's like a big, like it's a wall, like with the wood paneling on it. But it's like I made a wall out of PVC pipes that I can move around. It's kind of neat, I think.
Yeah. It's awesome. Your camera really does look good with that lighting.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Well, the only reason you can see like it looks fine on me is because the light of the screen.
Oh, so that's why you're warm.
Yeah.
Because it really doesn't look like that blue is like hitting you.
But yeah, you're just seeing that. I mean, I could take the light that's above me and make them more warmer, but it brightens up the background. I'll do that doing this.
Oh yeah, you can't really get the effect of the blue.
I can bring it way down, but it still is. I mean, it's closer still.
What do we think of wall control shelving? Well, I mean, I saw what Dave had at his house before he moved, with the original wall control that he bought. But then, he did the new video, and that is a lot of wall control.
Yeah, what's really funny is I was looking at wall control. Like I was just gonna get like 1 or 2 panels, uh, because I was thinking about like mounting controllers from it, and I didn't do it. And then he did the video. I'm like, oh, what you've been talking about?
I've been using. In fact, I went and bought the last that I needed. I've been using IKEA Svalnas, Svalnas, which has been very good for media shelving. But if you want a lot of it, it's going to be a few $100s. But I bought the last that I needed, and it's I really enjoy it. I just think it's really nice looking. But yeah, hopefully I've got enough to last like an extremely long time at this point.
Yeah.
So
I haven't figured out a good solution for my controllers or my my portable systems yet.
well, I showed you that I bought the cube doors for the IKEA units. I bought some of those today and installed them, and I'm putting all of, because in my new setup, if people remember from the old setup videos, I had Nintendo consoles in that one low IKEA it's just 1 cube tall by 5 cubes wide. They don't make that one anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I put doors on all that because I moved all of those most of those systems are upstairs now in the other room, or like in the case of the Wii U and Switch, now they're on top of that. There's no systems in there anymore. And I had some baskets in it with a little bit of stuff in it, but it wasn't very well utilized. So I put doors in all 5 of those holes, and I cut holes in the back of it so I can feed power for controller chargers. So I'm moving all of my controller chargers into those to keep dust off my controllers. Because, much as I love the Wii U, my gamepad is dusty every time I pick it up.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be a great way to keep the dust off of them. So, but yeah, there will be a new setup video later, probably much later in the year.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I guess that will do it. I didn't realize it was midnight. Dang.
Yeah, it's 12:01. Yeah, thanks for everybody. We got to spend like 500 some people this week.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody who donated out. It was a lot of fun. Everybody who stuck around in the chat.
All right.
And we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Good night.